Wonderful people, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Human Colour. My friends, have you ever felt that you make a lot of effort in life, you're taking action, you're moving forward, but it sometimes feels like things are not really changing so much within your life? Yeah, life's getting better, yeah, you're achieving your goals, but for some reason, things still feel the same. Things might be great, things might be very calm and very relaxing, yet you wake up in the morning, the coffee tastes the same, the tea tastes the same. We go about our life, things are great, things are okay. Yet there's something missing, and we can't quite put our fingers on it. It's a feeling of extraordinary, it's a feeling of life and excitement. Where did that feeling go? Well, my friends, if you can relate, I just want to share that first of all, you're not the only one, and secondly, you can reignite that passion and that excitement in your life whenever you want. The first thing I want to start by saying, though, is that the effort that you make makes a difference. And I think often in life we are taking action in our careers and we're taking action within our life. And it might feel that things are not changing or that it's not making a difference, but it really is. Even if the outer reality isn't expressing that or showing that instantly, it doesn't mean we're not making progress. I remember when I studied psychology at A-level, there was this phrase that really stuck out for me: learned helplessness. And I wondered what that was, and I read it, and it said, learned helplessness is when somebody has tried and tried, but it feels that their efforts have not been rewarded and nothing changed, so they learn to be helpless. And I thought, what a dismal situation to be in, what a disappointing outlook on life. And I said to myself, when I read that at 16, I said, I'm never going to let that be me. Because I know that we've got power and I know that we can make a change. So I just want to say that, if you've ever felt like that, just know that it can change and that your effort makes a difference. So you're watching Human Colour. This is my daily vlog. This is my day in a life where I share with you things that I'm passionate about, where I share with you insights and knowledge that I've read that I believe will help people shift their mindset towards abundance and towards moving forward creatively. So have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt that, you're making an effort, you're putting in work, you're showing up day after day, you're doing the routine, and you're sort of just waiting, and it's almost that question that one would ask when they're in the car, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? When's it going to happen? Well, the truth is we are here, and it has happened, and it is happening, and things are changing. So keep going, keep pushing forward, keep making a difference. It is making a change, it is having an impact, and you do have power. Maybe it's about surrounding ourselves with the right people. Maybe it's about being in the right rooms. Maybe it's about being intentional with what we want to do. Maybe it's about setting those intentions and making sure that we are spearheading our goals and really making sure that we're being specific about what we want to achieve. I remember John Mayer was having an interview and they were talking about success and he said a really great point. He said that often people never feel successful because they don't define their goal. In the world of music, they don't define it. You want to succeed as a musician, maybe it's about defining how many songs you want to sell or how many people you want to perform to, or where you want to perform in the world or how many albums you want to write. Define it, because that way it becomes real and it becomes tangible. So often we're not defining our goals, and that's what's creating this feeling of stagnancy. It's because we're trying to get to a place that is undefinable. So of course we're never going to feel that we got there, and of course it's going to feel constantly ongoing and that there's no breakthrough because we haven't defined it. So defining that success and putting ourselves in the right rooms, being around the right people. You see, when you're around people that also are inspired, it creates this really powerful ripple effect where you're bouncing ideas off them, you're sharing your enthusiasm, they're sharing their enthusiasm, you're giving your insights, they're giving their insights, they're giving you great ideas and feedback, and you're creating this really powerful energy that just makes things move forward, and it helps you believe in yourself more, and it helps you be more inspired. So make sure that we're around the right people, we're in the right rooms. All these things can help us move forward. All these things can make a difference. These are things that I thought about in my own life, guys. These are things that I thought about when I was navigating the world of music, when I was a singer-songwriter. I'm still a singer-songwriter and musician and performer and actor. All the while I was searching to get my foot within these industries, I would ask myself the question, how do the breakthroughs happen? How does it come about? And I found that from connecting with other people that were keen to work in these fields and that had stories to tell and that were also inspired, that helped me find more clarity and helped me navigate that world a lot more. So it's about being in the right rooms, being around people that we can learn from. I've always wondered if it's really possible to go at it alone. And I think, who has ever done it alone? Moby, Kanye West. Does that work? No comment. But what I'm saying is that, let's put ourselves in the right room. Let's put ourselves in the right environment that's going to make that change. And set those intentions, set the routine. Make sure that what we're doing in the day-to-day is congruent and is in a line with what we plan to do. It's not off track. It's like making a promise to yourself and saying, right, this is my goal. Let's say, okay, somebody's trying to get more clients or they're trying to get more customers. Okay, so right, today I'm going to send out an advert. I'm going to post it on 3 different social media platforms, or I'm going to email, 3 contacts within that industry and hope that they can share my material or share my service. Right, that's the goal I set. And being completely intentional with that and committing to that. So the next day, you get up, whatever time, there's no strict time frame, but you do it in a time that works for you and you do it. And that's how progress is made. And then from that, you've done that, you feel rest assured, you feel a sense of accomplishment, and then you can move on to the next thing. And also the energy's been shifted, also the weight has been shifted off your shoulder because you know that you've done that, you know that you've made an effort, and then it's just a case of seeing what happens next. And within that, they'll message back or they'll say, oh, I really like your work, yep, let's meet up. Then you arrange a meeting, you arrange a consultation, you might get invited to an event, brilliant, then you move forward and then you're able to take more action. You see, it's a step-by-step process, but it's about taking action and making that first decision. So from making that first decision, things can then start to change. But I really just want to pop on here, and this is a real off-the-cuff video like most of my videos, and I really just wanted to say that your effort makes a difference, and sometimes life is almost, trying to find the most accurate word to describe what I want to say. Sometimes life is tricking us into thinking that we're not making progress. It's almost being ignorant. Reality is almost ignorant of the work that we've put in, and it's almost disenfranchising us of the outcome that we really deserve, to put it simply. But that's just the way in which the world works, society works. There's a little bit of a lag, there's a little bit of a delay, but it will come about. The crazy thing about life is that, it's not like school where all the effort you put in gets rewarded. You study, oh brilliant, you memorise those facts, you can get a good grade. Well, in life you can put in all that effort, but it's really an arbitrary process in terms of when you get the call back, or when you get the breakthrough. My apologies, there's some building taking place here in the business district of Paris, so I do apologise for the noise there, that was unexpected. But when you make progress, you're putting out your efforts and you're putting out your intentions into the world. Then there's a moment where that's going to be received, and then there'll be some kind of feedback. Like in physics, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And they don't speak about it, but sometimes I think there can be no reaction. So every time we do something, we'll get some good feedback, we'll get a blank feedback, we'll get a nothing feedback. So eventually there's going to be some kind of breakthrough. because it's just the laws of physics that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So it's going to be met. We're going to have that effort that we put out there is